or in the old German English word, it's burn. And the English linguist adapted that, which is actually a brand, because back then they actually burned the cow's skin in order to brand them and distinguish who's the owner or what type of cow they are. And it evolved into actually branding. So what is brand? It's an assigned name. When you're doing branding, it's an assigned name to promote the or your ability to market your business. You know, some people would think it's a logo that is actually a brand, but it's more than that. A logo is not a brand. A brand is consisting of how you project yourself, and it can be actually directed to an individual instead of a company. You know, we have the Nike, IBM, those are brand, but you're actually a brand. 10 years ago, I have it on my visual, but I bring it. Tom Peters, you guys familiar with Tom Peters? He wrote In Search of Excellence, and then his follow-up book was actually You Are a Brand, or Brand You. And that book is almost like a Bible in the Silicon Valley, and people actually trying to brand themselves instead of just a company. And we have people like, when you see the pictures here, if you see these people right here, you know, you would know what they did, and whatever business they hold into, it becomes either successful or flop. But wherever they go, whatever you transition, for instance, UT company is Mass Mutual, so that's the brand you're trying to reflect on you. But I encourage that you brand yourself as well. And Fania, I know her as you know, in the psychology and psychiatry business, and so that's a perfect example of a brand, Fania. And the same thing with Karen. You know, she's a lawyer, and I know her brand is being, I forgot the law expertise, but you know, so that's one thing that you need to project, so you will be memorable on what specific or what expertise you have in your brand. And that comes in, especially at this time and age of social media. It is the almost like a requirement that whatever you post, it reflects on you. You know, when you did try to commit and promise something that you will do, and you didn't do it, you will be branded as Lisa the irresponsible, or Lisa the liar. You know, that will be your brand. So, moving forward, I'm also here to pitch a little bit about the business and how it came about, why I'm so passionate about brand. You know, ever since I remember in high school, you know, I took business in school, in college, and then took masters in business organization. And the past 8 years, I was doing my doctorate in counseling. So I was thinking of something, how can I really serve the community by combining all these skills? And the focus is just one thing, and that is branding. We've been in the business of branding for 15 years through promotional products. So we have printed materials. When a small business wants to project in their events, they create something tangible that they can hand out, so that it will establish a visual kind of brand to people who received it. That's one way of enhancing brand, through material things. But now with the, you know, content marketing, and with social media, with LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, you can actually create your own brand with your face. You need to put a face in your brand, a face in your company, a face in everything that you do as a financial advisor, as a lawyer, as a doctor. You know, that is what the birth of CommerceWise, which is the consulting part of Amboss Creation. It has evolved from CareerWise, which I started as a career counselor for 20 years with the military, where eventually I started in 2005 called CareerWise. It's a newsletter for all military counselors, And in about 2 years, it had 16,000 subscribers to all career counselors, and it became the hub. And so all these things, the passion in counseling and career development and business, is starting to have sort of a picture or a brand that I'd like to exude in my own type of brand. And then 3 years later, I attended this business symposium, which is going to be held again this August, which I will attend, the Business Summit. And I got hold of this speaker who talked about cultural intelligence, the culture man. And I got hooked. Ever since, I've collected different materials in cultural intelligence. I'm certified cultural intelligence from Purdue and Cultural Intelligence Institute. And I see now how you can combine this as a coach and being in the Navy as a chief, like Guy or Steve. As a chief, you are a coach basically. So for 10 years, I've been coaching sailors, veterans. So I thought maybe why don't you create something, being a consultant with my 13 years of experience in the business, as a counselor, 20 years experience, just as a coach for 10 years, a coach, counselor, consultant, and the service is called CommerceWise. Because, if you were a researcher, you would measure a lot of the skills in order to exude the right brand for the person. What is really you're passionate about? That's when my counseling and career development comes in. And to create you a brand on LinkedIn. And another service of CommerceWise is to teach you how to automate your social media and how to really get rid of all this notification, getting you to focus on your phone, but instead help you focus on the people in front of you. Back to the basic of relationship without relying too much on technology. And automation is one way to market your business. And that is why this branding is important in you establishing your business, your career, and as a servant to the community. So thanks for letting me share. Thank you.